Alright, in the interest of safety, namely mine, I went ahead and drilled the holes in the wood here. Okay, basically what I did was I used a centering punch to line up one, look down through, clamped it, and then center punched the other ones, and drilled them, put them in, and so even though I've snugged them down now, they're 1/4-inch holes, and so there's really no slop. So then I sharpied and scribed around the outside just in case I have to take it apart or whatever. So now basically what I'm going to do is remove the excess metal, leave about a 1/16 of an inch, and we'll try the router and see if it works. If not, you know, I'll figure something else out. Well, we'll see how this works. It's been a lot of years since I've done it. Anyway, there goes nothing. Alright, notice that thing started climbing. The spindle lock on here wasn't holding real well, so I tightened it down as tight as I could. But if I kept going, the vibration and everything, did you notice how far that was tilting over? That was ridiculous. This router I don't think is going to handle it. I'm not going to bother setting up the other one. We'll figure out something else, I think. But you can see it's actually doing a pretty nice job there. You know, maybe I should set up the other router and do it. That just might, well, that's really not bad at all. The problem is that started climbing up out of the collar, and that thing could have come flying out of there at 22,000 RPMs. Wouldn't have been good. Not at all. It's a bit tighter. Let's take another crack at it, see what it does. Yeah, it's certainly getting close enough. Couldn't tell if it was pulling up or not. you know, you could just about call that good. Knock a couple of the fuzzies off. I mean, it would certainly work, and especially in a prototyping situation. So I think I'll drill some holes in the other one, and we'll see what happens. Okay, well, we're going to do 3 other holes, the farthest 3 apart. So I can do it perpendicular to the face, and then I can use the bubble level on the drill. If I was worried about it being perfect, I'd set it all up and do it on the mill. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do, get a little creative here. I'm going to take that off with those 3, and those are pass-through holes, so down they go and hold it like that. Then oh, there's the clamp. We'll hold it like that. We'll turn it over. We'll take our centering punch. Okay, did I get enough hole, enough punch mark? Yes, yes, and probably. Okay, so now I can go change bits and drill the 3 clearance holes so that I can bolt it down to those. Because I screwed up the first ones. I haven't worried about doing a mirror image because it's perfectly flat plate, so I don't have to worry about it. And if once the aluminum is sandblasted, you won't be able to tell which side it was on anyway. Glass beaded probably instead of sandblasted. So I'll get these 3 in, and then I'm gonna oh yeah, I don't know if you can you see that? Let's see here. Goes right through there, right through that one. They're nice. They're perfectly positioned. It's like, wow, it's pretty nice. So make sure it's sucked down pretty tight. You know, and I may get aggressive with the router and see if I can just route this whole thing out instead of trying to take that out with the saw. I may take some of it out with the saw. That's a lot of metal. Well, let's do the other one. See how it comes out. Oh, man. Now, what I'm doing is I'm holding it very firmly, and I'm making... I'm touching it fairly lightly. These chips that are coming off are just really just tiny slivers, and that's what I want. And I always want to touch and go against. This thing's turning counterclockwise, okay? So I always want to touch and go that way. If you start in going this way, it will grab and bite, and it'll just, which would be equivalent to climb milling, and it'll just yank it. And it's done it to me a couple times when I wasn't when I first started. Then I realized, okay, I need to just come in here and just lightly shave it and that stuff. And I also don't want to necessarily have my, like a small finger or something like that hanging off, because if it does catch and kick back, I don't want it to, break that finger. So I'm trying to keep the palm of my hand, or, bigger, stronger fingers bracing it there. So. So there's the second one. Now I'm curious to put the two together and see how close they are. There's a little bit of a dent there from the bearing going around there, which is to be expected. Had I used masonite or a hardwood or something, that may not have happened, but wow, there's no way I could have got that close. Hand milling, so or on the mill. So since I have pass-throughs on those three that are threaded for the other one, let's do this. And actually, I could have used the first one as the template on the thing. I could actually essence the bottom one here in a couple spots a little bit bigger. Yeah, I could go slap this up on the router and man, they are so close. You see that? Look at that. There's a tiny little lip there, which, is from the bearing sinking in here around the edge. But a lot of this is right on the money. Oh, that is cool, huh? Sweet. Okay, let's touch it up on the router, and then the spots where the top one's proud, since I can't stick it upside down like this and run it through the router. Actually, I could, couldn't I? I could lay it on that and touch up some of those spots. I just need something flat. These will stick on that table really bad. Let's see how that comes out. Yep, even a little closer. There's a couple spots where it hangs over, but I'll tell you what, this is absolutely close enough. Because when they're on opposite sides of the car, you're not going to be able to tell if these things are within a 1/4 inch of each other. So, yeah, so I'm going to hit them on the belt sander and clean it up a hair, and man, call that good. Wow. I like that. Once it's glass beaded and on both sides of the car, you won't be able to really see that, but this is where I'm going to leave it with the sanding and shaping. Still got some water on there. And tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, sometime I'll decide exactly how and whatever I'm going to deal with the centered hole. because the whole thing, I guess I could go get a 3 1/8 inch hole saw, because that's the size of that hole. And if I do that, then I can cut that into the wood quite easily. But then I've got to use a smaller hole saw and then use the router, you know, to clean that out. But it won't make it perfect. So, you know, I've shown how to cut the outside and that stuff with the table saw, the hand saw, and the router. Okay, the holes could have been punched, you know, off the CAD art and been close enough. Okay, so I didn't have to use the mill for that. So basically, these brackets have been made in a way that you did not need the mill, the CAD for accuracy, and that's it. But so cutting the center hole, you could do it the same way. Hole saw into the wood, cut out the main chunk in the middle here, and then use the router to clean it all up and that kind of stuff. So I may just make it easy on myself, and I may just use the mill and show a different process for getting that center hole when I do it, instead of doing the same process I've been doing. Okay, I think I've shown that enough to give people, you know, give somebody some idea of how to turn out some pretty cool stuff in aluminum, you know, without having the expense of a mill.